content for the day. Welcome in everybody to Mailbox Sports. I am your host and male Kuiper substitute for the day, Postman 1914. We are flying the ship solo, but it's not so low that you can't hear me. Don't worry about it. Anybody who will be a part of the chat or is already, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to the page. And if you want some sports content that you can use, hopefully you're a Bears fan, because otherwise you probably don't care about it. Nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and let you know about some things in the way in which I like to classify them. So for me, everything is always intended to be male themed. And by male, I mean M-A-I-L, not M-A-L-E. Nonetheless, we got some male terms for you, and those things will translate throughout the course of our episode here, as they do with all. But we want to talk specifically about the excitements and the anticipation that surrounds the NFL draft. 15 days from now, April 24th, we have what some might call must-see TV, especially on a Thursday night. And this particular mode of entertainment, while it not be a game, the NFL draft warms the hearts of many fans, and it offers what I think is like the greatest form of hope for their respective teams. In that particular capacity, when you get a new draft pick, the opportunity to have a new player burst onto the scene, be as impactful to your team as a Jaden Daniels, go ahead and be as impactful as somebody that will be classified as Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick of the NFL draft, Brock Purdy. No matter what slot you were drafted in, no matter if you're an undrafted free agent, you have several players that make impacts on their respective NFL teams once they get there. With that being said, we got a lot of hot case mail to unpack about it, and today we are going to highlight the importance of the draft. And we'll do so through my own eyes via my mock draft. Yes, I say we do it through my eyes because we, meaning you the fan and myself, have taken several opportunities to be an armchair GM, quarterback, or anything else related to it. Now I will be a GM for my team, the beloved Chicago Bears, in real time. And I got a few mock drafts. Went through Draft Buzz. We went through Sportskeeda, I believe, to give both of those websites credit. Did several, consensus speed drafts. And I paired those along with some things that I did on my own, whether it be trading back to acquire new assets, and we will obviously have some of that, or if we just stayed true to the board, took what we've classified as the best available player. And once again, by we, I mean myself, the chat, and anybody who might care about Bears fandom. They have a say-so, but just not in the way in which I selected these players. With that being said, I think that it's a theory that you have maybe 3 to 5 game changers. And I mean game-changing starters that's super impactful for years to come in the draft. And so, for me, my personal favorite in post these mocktails would be the ultimate trade back. In this particular trade, I traded back from the 10 spot to the 16 with the Cincinnati Bengals. Upon being on the clock there, I was approached by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm sorry, the 21st selection. And in those two particular selections, or what I would call acquisitions right there, we got some draft picking analysis to go on, and we're going to call this what I call FSS. So obviously, first, second round players are, the first round is Thursday night draft. It's an all-night event. Those players are supposed to make the most impact on your team. Also, when you talk about the top 5 type guys or what have you, the Cam Wards, the Travis Hunters, maybe Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, whoever else. Once those players are gone, what other players are future superstars and starters? Because first round is important. All rounds would follow through after that, just being equally important in terms of talent ID and being able to pick the right players. What I would like to show to everybody and exhibit is my very own mock draft. Let's go straight ahead to it, if you will. And we will go into my first, which is, boom, my mock. I'm going to show you my mock. Don't go too hard. So as I stated, we traded back, and I got it wrong again. I got so many things jotted down on some papers and notes. I like to think I have organized chaos, but today it is just chaos. We traded back to 18 with the Seattle Seahawks originally, and that was followed up by a trade with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in those trades, at the 21st overall selection, I had the Bears select the defensive tackle, Kenneth Grant from Michigan. We need a big body to go ahead, stop the run, stop the pass, fortify the defense, and give those edges and everybody else the opportunity to move forward and get to the quarterback. I think it allows Dexter to slim down and possibly play more on the edge along with Dangbo and Sweat. And so Billings and Grady will help him learn the ways. I think it is an excellent pick for the first one. And we move right into pick number 2. Minnesota offensive lineman. Yes, we did fortify the offensive line this year, but we have to grow for the future. And why not get somebody that has ready-made talent, I would like to think. Or at least B-plus talent, and some of those other things will come right along with it. And in that particular respect, we speak to the extent of Ariante Ursery. Ariante Ursery is a Minnesota offensive lineman, and I want you to make no mistake. John Yurkovich salivates over one Ariante, mostly because of his name, but more importantly because of his play. And I think Ariante is a wonderful second-round selection. Pardon me as I look down to get a couple things that I need here. Also, we out here not making it. Amarion Hampton in this draft, and I can only take who's on the board. I have absolutely no idea how Amarion is still on the board. Nonetheless, he slipped down to pick 41, and I hurried to the board to get the UNC running back because I want him. I don't want him at 10, but any other place you pick him, I won't be mad if they got him. Some mocks have him going a bit earlier. Nonetheless, in this particular, he was on the board, snatched him. And then we get right back to this defensive line. And the Ole Miss edge, Jared Ivey. Jared Ivey will help us to solidify a rotation because Dennis Allen likes to have a lot of horses to keep bodies fresh and keep everybody that is out there, as hungry and as affable as possible when it comes to getting to the quarterback. So those pleasant, polite personalities that they have, they manifest themselves into dogs on the field, because off the field, being affable allows them to be a bit more engaged. I think it gives them a lot more opportunity to get into that playbook, learn technique, and it translates to beefing up more of that line and rotation so that Dennis Allen can keep going. And along with that, no line is complete without continuously solidifying the offensive line. I tell you, the trenches are the focuses of my draft. And while I do understand we have other players to accumulate, to add to the team, to make us better, i.e. an Amarion Hampton, we need solidified trenches. And in case of injury, I want able bodies to to be able to replace them. You went out and signed guys. Now you can get your cheap guys to be your replacement rookies who you hope to be your eventual replacements anyway. And on that line, we select Charles Grant from William and Mary, offensive tackle. He can kick in the guard, or he has the ability to play left or right tackle. Being that he has that flexibility, small school, so I won't say a reach, but a bit raw. Still gives him the opportunity to sit for a year, maybe more, behind everybody on the line and gather what position he plays best, and also season himself so that when he's ready, just like a Trey Smith, and he's not getting on the field. And while we talk about that rotation, we will not stop talking about it. We addressed the defensive line once again with David Walker, the edge from Central Arkansas. Small school, so most people might think he's not polished. I do believe he was a portal student, so going to Central Arkansas had to be for some other reason than just competition. I do believe that he steps up and does the things that we need him to do, and that makes me happy. If you notice, that is our third round pick in this particular mock. I acquired by trading back twice. Another 3 third-round picks and a 6th. And also a 4th. I gave away a few picks, but I acquired a lot. And with that last third-round pick, we select from University of Texas another tight end, more of a inline blocker that can catch. Gunnar Helm from Texas. Liked him very much. Next we have up, because our clock don't have to wait, Jack Slater, another guard, Sacramento State. Not a school I follow. Not much that I know about him. I have heard him be slotted in a lot of mock drafts as early as the 3rd round. And to see him pop up in numerous mocks that I had gave me an opportunity to kind of peel back the curtain and see if it's somebody that I should look for. Hence, we got him. My next draft pick is one of my most favorite, and it is how can I explain it? A Swiss Army knife. We back in the well when we go to Ole Miss, as this player has, in his career at Ole Miss, played tight end, played fullback, and lines up as defensive tackle. J.J. Pegas. Pegs. I didn't learn how to pronounce his name, so pardon me, but we're going to go with Pegas. Who knows? He's a monster of a man, agile, mobile, and hostile, and he can be a Swiss Army knife for you. Unlike putting Doug Kramer out there to botch the ball away, this young man had a variety of rushing touchdowns this past football season. A guy I want to have on my team. Next we have a Dante Thornton Jr. Dante is a big-bodied wide receiver from Tennessee. I do believe you go and get another one just in case a guy like Zacchaeus or Tyler Scott that's not fully developed. You get you another young boy that can be in your pipeline that may stay, maybe a trade asset, maybe a big package type player in terms of the goal line or what have you. So I think he gives the opportunity. Remember the Titans. That's right. How you feeling, Tech? I mean, I think that guy gives us what we need out there, and to have that big body guy that goes everywhere and is guarded nowhere, I think is a wonderful 6th round pick out of Tennessee, and he is raw, 6'4", I think 214, big boy, and you're ready to go. Last 2 picks for my mock before we get into the actual mocks that made sense when we stayed and play. Shamar James. That is Florida guy. I think the Bears look to solidify even more of the line, and since he was a linebacker that can flourish allegedly as an edge, I like to see that Shamar in the 7th round is a pretty good developmental prospect to go along with. Corey Lindenberg, another edge / linebacker from the University of Minnesota. I think you gather as much talent on both sides of the line as you can. You sort out the weak. You reinforce with the strong. You have a pipeline that is kind of unmatched in the sense that most people have solidified front fives, and the Eagles have the absolute one of the best lines because of how they utilize it and what their personnel is. I think you could potentially have, 5 to 8 real good guys, and I didn't even mention Karan Amagaji or anybody else that would already be on the bench. So I think that gives us a nice little segue into the future in terms of sorting what guys will personally give us the best opportunities to get to the quarterback and the guys that give us the best opportunity to block for that quarterback we got. And we sprinkle in a few offensive weapons, if you notice, with a running back, a tight end, and a wide receiver, because we do want to get Caleb as many weapons as possible. With that being said, we move along, and we get a little bit of, how do we talk about some future superstars and starters for my FSS? FSS for us, in case you don't know, is a third bundle of specialized flat mail, magazine type things and such for us over here on this side. Future superstars and starters. I believe if you have 7 picks at minimum like the Bears have right now, and I gave us more in this particular, you throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, simply because it's not labeled as a strong draft. But if you can have good depth, wonderful rotational players, and some starters and maybe some gems that you find, kudos to you. And I want to see you be able to do that. I personally would trade back, but like I said, next few drafts, we have 4 left. We will stick specifically to what's going on the board itself. With that being said, anybody who has come in, here's the stream, anything else, like, share, subscribe. I want you to go ahead and hit that like button. Next, 5 draft picks. When I go to the streets every day, my letter mail that is in sequence, all the letters you guys get to your houses, that is called DPS mail. However, we will not go into sequencing for the intended purposes of mail, for Mailbox, in terms of the sports, drafting potential starters or superstars. 2nd through 7th round. When you got guys like a Tom Brady, when you got a guy like a Richard Dent, when you got a guy like a Terrell Davis with the Mile High Salute, 6th round picks, 8th round picks when they had rounds back that far. You have Hall of Famers that were undrafted free agents. With those types of things being bandied about, that is always incumbent upon you never to forget specifically that you can do damage in every round, 2 through 7, just like the first one. With the DPS mail out here, we have to find some potential starters and superstars. Moving on to the next mock. Round 1. Bears stay put at 10. Will Campbell. I think Will Campbell is a bit of a controversial pick in the sense that I don't know exactly what position he plays. But it will give me a bit of clarity as to how they might feel about Karan in terms of what position he'll play. Maybe he's a guard in the future. Or maybe they don't like Braxton as much as I think they do, and they're ready to move on. Will, otherwise, to me, doesn't make necessary sense because top 10 for a non-starter, and by non-starter, I mean unless he's usurping Braxton, he won't start anywhere else on the line. So why draft him that high? They say one of those blue chip players, if he is truly one of those 3 to 5 game changers that they speak of, I understand your logic, and you go ahead and take him. But you follow that right up with the guy that you really need, because Joe Tooney is a bit older. And we get a guy from Alabama, the offensive guard, Tyler Booker. Tyler is a mammoth of a man. and wants to take your will on the defensive side. Any guy that feels to be that nasty, I want him on my team, and want somebody in your team. Defensive back is the strongest position. By the defensive backs, I really mean the cornerbacks. Nonetheless, certain cornerbacks come to the league and they convert to safeties. In this instance, the Bears, with their second round pick, select Malachi Starks, University of Georgia, and he is a cornerback, but it is rumored that he will make the conversion to safety. I don't think you can have too much safety for your safeties, and that Byard is a bit older, and I'm not so sure about the health of Brisker overall. So with that being known, to have an insurance policy and some depth in case anybody were to be banged up, just to replenish what might be the strongest position on your team, you might want to keep it that way. Got no problem with that. To address the defensive line, my apologies, and we want to slide right into that edge. Jordan Birch, the edge defender from Oregon, I believe. Yep, that's what it says. That's what I typed. We're gonna read that. Need sacks, need help. Dexter, like I said, is alleged to be moving some outside and inside. He's shedding pounds, but you can always get more nasty and more angry on the line. We go 4th round with a Jordan Birch. 3rd round, I meant to say, actually. I don't know why I still have 4th, but who knows. Nick Nash, 5th round pick. San Jose State University is a wide receiver. I believe he is 6'3", big body, physical, and get after balls at the high point. Told you last time with Dante Thornton, always looking to get a big body to go ahead and kind of be that tight end that's not a tight end. We get another one in round 5. And Jamari Harris, the Iowa cornerback, stays cornerback, but you never know what they want to do with Tyreek Stevenson. One of those picks, I had him moving up because if you notice, they don't have a 7th round pick in this particular mock scenario here. Nonetheless, since I can't remember who I had him trade up to get, I believe it was Booker. I don't know how far we moved up. Nonetheless, doesn't matter. That's what we got for mock 1. 6 picks right there. So after we get my dream scenario of trading back and acquiring multiple picks, we go ahead and do what a couple of my friends want us to do, which is trade up a little bit, get one of those highly talented players, as he says. Get the most talent you can acquire at the highest level, or the highest rated level, I should say. With that being said, on to Mach 2. In this particular, we see Will Campbell once again. They had a 3 or 4 Will out here. Will's there again. But in this round, the 2nd pick, Ole Miss, I like it. And I would be willing, if I traded back, I'd be willing to take him in the 1st round. Walter Nolan is a defensive tackle from Ole Miss. I really, really, really would take him if I, like one of those other scenarios, if I trade back in the 20s, I'd consider taking him right then. So to find him at 30 now was a steal for me on this, along with Tyler Booker. Yes, don't know how he slipped, but he was available. I don't ask questions. I run to the podium. I take people's wheels away when I give him the keys to the inside of the line. Once again, you see me like Jordan Birch. Jordan Birch, available again. Not Kuiper, McShay. Todd McShay. Let me give credit to him. There's a guy along with Bucky Brooks that talks this dude up. I'm not one to know much about the tape, but he seems to fit the system in terms of what Dennis Allen wants. And they mentioned his name a lot. He was available. Let's get him again. And then we go out here and get another defensive tackle, which I think replaces Zach Pickens. We get Aeneas Williams. Aeneas Williams. God. Tell me when Aeneas Williams stopped playing. They were the Arizona Cardinals when Aeneas Williams played. The Phoenix Cardinals, my apologies. What am I talking about? Am I high? Who knows? Figure it out. Aeneas Peebles is his name. Virginia Tech defensive tackle. Can't believe it took so long, but he's a big body that does well against the run and gets collapses the middle, as they say, to get sacks. I fucks with that heavy. I need you to go ahead and get through there. And my 7th round picks will be rounded out with a Tyler Batty, tight end, Boise State. More of a Cole clone with a better blocking ability. I think that's more Will. But as my guy Ben Johnson says, no block, no rock. I need you to go ahead and get that rock, young boy, if you out here. So with that being said, Tyler Batty is that 7th round pick, 233 for the Bears, and we walk away happy. We walk away even happier at 240 in the last pick for the Bears in this draft because I am a graduate of Alabama State University. I am an HBCU supporter and lover, especially when I know that a lot of Hall of Famers came from HBCUs, and I want to give all of them an opportunity to go ahead and make some money. So Philip Webb, Jackson State University, Deion's old school, defensive line and edge. Yes, yes, yes. I want to give you a chance to make my roster, show me that you're not an imposter, and go ahead and show these boys you can be a starter out here in the league, no matter what school you went to. Those types of things right there, they get me over the top excited. And you realize how a late round steal, we just talked about Dan, we talked about a Brady. You get the right late round steal, and that can absolutely springboard you to what's really going on with your team in terms of the prosperity you can have. It can be so much better than you thought. And I'm all about the improvements. So with that being said, I want you to hit that like button, subscribe, share, and comment, and we move on to mock number 3. Mock number 3. Bears select first round offensive tackle out of Texas, and I do believe that he would usurp Braxton if Braxton don't gain the weight that they want him to have, the requisite weight that Ben Johnson wants him to gain, so that he's not so quote unquote light in the ass. But he might not do it this year. But I do believe they draft him to be an eventual replacement because I don't think he slides into a guard. With that being said, I don't think it happens, but it's a mock. Round 2. Pardon me for butchering your name in advance, Mr. Ohio State defensive lineman, but JT Tuimoloau. I don't know. We ain't gonna try it no more. Tuimoloau. Who knows? Tuimaway. I don't know how to say his name. But the defensive lineman from Ohio State is the guy that I picked right there before another common name that we have going on out here. Once again, my boy, Jack Slater. Sacramento State offensive guard. We don't stop building on them lines, y'all. I told you. I don't care how many picks we have. Those are the most important. If they grab a running back or anything else, that's fine. But we need fortification to the lines. With that being said, round 3. I don't even know if this is his name, but I'm going to make it. 1 Cameron Scatterbo. Cam is a battering ram, jack of all trades out here in these streets. Not the fastest, but I think DeAndre has enough breakaway speed to be your lightning, if you want to call it that. This is little Timu Christian McCaffrey for me, and he may be healthier. I'm with it. And we got another name to butcher here, right here in round 5, because we traded up to get JT Tuimoloau. Can't tell you his name, but he's projected to go late first round, early second. We traded up to get JT, and so again, We out here with this good old 7th round pick after the 5th. How can I say his name? Tommy Akingbasote. I think that's how you say it. From the University of Maryland. Defensive lineman. When you got Tuamalu and you got a Scatterbo, you need a King Basote. I mean, can you blame me? I don't need those names. He Gucci. My apologies. Lastly, a oldie but a goodie. If anybody remembers Celebrations, this young man's father took a cell phone from the goalpost as a celebration to one up the Sharpies and everything else that was going on in the world that he'd been doing. And he got a fine for it. Nonetheless, we salute you, Joe Horn, as Jimmy Horn Jr., Colorado wide receiver. Yes, not Travis, but Jimmy. We draft him in 7th round. I think Jimmy make the roster. I think Jimmy got that drive. Jimmy like that ball. Jimmy love ball out here, and he gonna get what he got to get. And I hope he get it with the Bears. Which brings me, drum roll please, if I could have one, but I ain't got one, so don't worry about it. Mach 4. Mach 4 is for the fan next door. We're going to give you what I think is possibly one of the best overall. And anybody, let me know if you have your opinion about any of the drafts that you've seen. The comments will be commenting throughout the week. So any replays, if you like one of these mock scenarios the best, feel free to drop it in the comments. Let me know if you had your own particular thoughts. If you hated all of them, let me know that too. And let me know why. It's important that we get to the whys. And if you think I can do things that are better to suit you in programming for the sports content that we need and want, feel free to let me know. Until then, we will talk about 4 Mach 4. Let's talk about it. Round 1, University of Georgia, edge, Michael Williams. Michael, just like Pierce, just like Mike Greens. I think all those guys might be pretty damn good. They all seem to have good bend, good wiggle in terms of swim moves and what I want. I want him to not just be a speed guy, but have some technique as well. I think Montez and everybody else helps him to accumulate this. So I'm happy to say that I selected this boy right there. Let's go ahead and see what's going on. Next, offensive tackle, Jonah Savianea. I believe Jonah is Samoan. Don't hold me to it. But he is an offensive tackle from Arizona. The successor to a spot on the line. I don't know what spot, but once again, could be theorized to be Braxton. Or he could kick in the guard. Not certain. Stay tuned. Next, another name that I'm trying to butcher out here, but hope I don't. Princely Umamielen. The offensive lineman defensive lineman. Why do I keep doing that? Ole Miss. The school is throwing me off. When I see OL, I think old lineman. But then I gotta remember that E's right behind it. Don't hold me. But hold me. Round 3. I don't know if I told y'all with JT, but I don't really like Ohio State. No real reason, no good justification. Don't care. Don't have to have it. Fanaticism is irrational. Nonetheless, 3rd round, because he is still on the board, and there's no way that he was still there at 72, so we had to run to get him. Quinshon Judkins is the compliment in his mock to DeAndre Swift. A do-it-all guy. Did get many opportunities to catch the ball because Travion Henderson had a lot of those, but he does have the body frame to be the thumper and the de facto thunder to a Swift's Lightning. And I think it's a good value and quality pick. So, third round, Quashawn Judkins. Fifth round, offensive guard, Miles Frazier. You got to throw something at the wall, see if it sticks. Miles may turn into that guy that everybody want to sign. And if he leaves your team, or if you don't, it's good for you. Can't go wrong with fortifying the line twice. Last year, I think we had, I won't even make it up. I know we had at least 7 different line combinations. That's way too many as an offensive line. You need 5 to be continuous, but if not, let's get some real good depth pieces to be out there who could be starters everywhere, just not on your team because they ain't good enough just yet. So I take Miles Frazier, 5th, the offensive guard from LSU, and I shoot and I hope for the best. 7th round. Last 2 critical selections of this particular episode before we put... I don't think we're putting anybody in the pit today, but we will be doing some other things out here. And so, without further ado, our 7th round pick, Thor Griffith. Now, Thor got picked because once I get into the bottom of the pool, say defensive tackle, yes, you still can clog the middle and be beneficial. And this man's name is Thor, so I figured he got a hammer. And he coming down from Asgard to help you boy out in your Bears. I'm with you. Thor Griffith, Louisville defensive tackle, coming home. And last, Bilal Kone, Western Michigan. He's a Bronco. Saw him out there. Athletic. Got a lot of length. Rangy. Can play man and press. One of those specials for Dennis Allen. And I can't wait to see it. Not even on my team, but I'm projecting and predicting who might just be out there one day to represent and wear the colors of my Chicago Bears. You did? I personally don't know what these draft picks do for us contending or anything, in all honesty. It's only speculation and hope. And these are only mock drafts. So we got about 15 days, like I said, before we get into the next draft. Popping off 2025. And by next draft, I mean last year, we got Caleb and Rome. This year, we take over the world. Who knows? Anyone got any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Raise your hand. Frame your questions. What you got? No? You? No? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate a good presentation. Now, I know I didn't maintain that good eye contact with you. I tried to give you as much clarity as I could, but the picture will be much clearer for everyone come April 24th. God, what's going on? It's all so cloudy. Everything is starting to come together. On the 13th of this month, which is Sunday, I will have been in my wonderful and beloved fraternity and organization, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, for a total of 23 years. And the week after that, I got a beloved wife, been with her 15 years. And on this wonderful April 20th, we celebrate a wedding anniversary. So, a lot of thoughts go through your head. Sometimes these other things get a little everywhere. Who knows? With that being said, like, share, subscribe. We got some closing thoughts. And those closing thoughts today will not involve pit duty. They will involve a first-class stamp of approval. That first-class stamp of approval and salute goes to one Billy Donovan, coach of the Chicago Bulls and 2025 inductee to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Salute to you, sir. Billy has been a player in the league and a coach in the league. Started at Providence as a collegiate player, played for the Knicks in the league. Billy Donovan went down to Florida, got him 2 rings with Noah and Torian Green and Al Horford. Came to the league, Coach KD, coached Russ, Coach Harden. I think he coached all three of them together, yeah. He's the reason they got to the finals, I believe. Coaching my Bulls, they solidified themselves a nice, play-in seed. Go ahead and win and get to the fucking playoffs. Don't piss me off. I've been overly effusive of the Bulls with praise. I don't want to seem like a jerk. But don't piss me off. Go out there and win 2 games in the play-in and do the things that we need you to do. Gee, Honda, what's going on with you, man? You ain't see one of my first trade scenarios, brother. I started out my favorite mock. Started out trading back from 10 to 18 with the Seahawks. After that, pulled ourselves right on back to 21 with your Steelers. And boy, between those two, we got the haul. G100, if you do not know as well, Steelmatic Network, tech support next door. Both of you guys already know we are having a draft bonanza for the actual NFL draft. Various teams, various fans, various opinions. I think it's going to be a good time. Mix it up, get everything going. I see the Discord out there, so everybody going to be locked in. Forgot to get my Discord so I can put it in the chat, but you know, it happens. Sometimes it happens. Let me see. Did I remember? I might. Nope. Didn't even remember to put it in there. Don't really matter too much though. We ain't gonna trip about it. So, what I think, because these birds behind me are starting to cackle out there, I want you guys to, if you can, and you have any particular mock drafts or, shall I say, feedback for the stream, feel free to let me know about it. And if you have any ideas for the stream upcoming, go ahead and let me know about those as well. The email, mailboxsports@yahoo.com. Once again, that email is mailboxsports@yahoo.com. Feel free to email us anything that you might want to talk about topic-wise. Like I said, in 2 weeks, we will have a selection of various fans telling us everything they want us to know about the NFL draft and what they want their teams to do. Should be a lot of fun. With that being said, I want you guys to hit that like button, share the content, subscribe to the page if you haven't. Tell other people to subscribe to the page. We on that push every day. We're trying to get the grind going. It's clock out time for us over here at the post office. Nonetheless, I appreciate everybody for pulling up, hanging out. Once again, mailboxsports@yahoo.com. That will be the same email for the details when we go ahead and get this merch popping and everything else. However, it is time for us to go ahead and get us some dinner in our lives. I'm a little late with that one on Wednesdays as usual. Y'all have a nice evening. We will talk to you next Wednesday. Check the page daily for content, whether it be a short video release or anything to that degree. Maybe even a random post, poll, not even Ryan. Till next time, everybody have a nice evening. Enjoy the rest of it. Appreciate you pulling up and hanging out. We are moving on, you know. That's how we going to do it.